So what was the shooting schedule like? Because you don't want to be intrusive because they still got to play, they got to practice, they got their families. So
Yeah.
what was the shooting schedule like? Because I mean, it went from what was it started like beginning of the season. I think training
Yeah.
camp and it ended like in October, I think, of
Yeah.
2023. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. You've done your research, Kevin. I really appreciate that. You don't want to be intrusive, but that's a hard thing about being a documentary director is you do have to push those boundaries a bit and push people outside of their comfort zones. Because there were a few times when we were calling agents and we're like, hey, we need more shoot days. I know that they're busy. They don't have to do anything different. We just want to be fly on the wall. Nothing is staged, which is a documentary, not a narrative feature. So we pushed a little bit. So shooting schedule sometimes was planned in advance. Things like All-Star Weekend were planned in advance. And then other times, we would get a message and they'd say, hey, on Tuesday in 3 days, they're going to be doing this. You guys want to come? We're like, yep, sure. So we were just sort of like always on call, which was fun. It was a grind, but I look back and it was fun.
Yeah. And one of the things that, our relationship is so great because we trust and respect each other. And her job when I was trying to fund this movie was to support me. My job when she was trying to make this movie was to protect her calendar, protect her time, because we work at a company where we don't just do one thing. We shoot commercials all day long. We shoot podcasts all day long. Like there is a need for her to do her job. And it was up to me to make sure that she had the space that she needed to be creative and not feel like she was being pulled in different directions.
Yeah.
I asked this question before to Andrea. I'll go back around and ask you this about the NECA quote. What did you learn as a leader by listening after you saw, because it was initially your idea, Jessica. How was it after you saw everything put together, or even like the rough cut? Like, what was your thoughts from the idea that you can conceive to what you saw at the end?
I felt and tell me if I'm wrong, but for the majority of the last 2 years, I've felt the weight of the world on my shoulders because I was always chasing the money and buying us enough time so that she didn't have to stop working. And it was really hard. It was probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. And I had to, even in the times when I didn't have confidence in myself, I had to find it and I had to muster it up and I had to do it on behalf of these other people. And so I had a lot of anxiety because I didn't sign the last Tubi contract until the end of December. I was signing contracts until December. We didn't sign the official licensing contract until
the morning of
the premiere. So like my job for 2 years has been chasing, and it took a lot out of me. And Dre was in the office and we were sitting over the,
editing. Yeah.
They were editing, like live editing. We had 2 of the guys were with us, Brad and Anthony. And she called me over and she said, I want you to come watch this. And it was the voiceover that Holly Rowe wound up doing. And it was that little like 2-minute segment. And it was the first thing that I'd seen of the film. And I burst into tears. I think I let all of that emotion out. She had to hold me so tight because I thought I was going to pass out. And it was a relief. It was pride. It was every emotion that you could possibly imagine coming out. And I'm so proud of what we've all done and how we never gave up. And I have learned to gracefully lean on other people, which has never been a strong suit of mine because I always want to be the one that people can lean on. And you have been so wonderful. Terry has been so wonderful. And I've just found that I don't have to always be the one that breaks. I can depend on other people and they're going to be there for me.